Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. And I've just nipped on to do a live just to let you know what's happening in this case that we started looking at yesterday. This is very, very sad case, isn't it? This British couple in France found deceased at their home. They've got a lovely sort of villa type thing that they've done up over the last 10 years in Les Pesquiès, which is a village in France, not that far from Toulouse, but it's very rural there. And this is Andrew and Dawn Searle, who you can see in the photo up in the right-hand corner. Andrew was 65 and Dawn was 46. So quite an age difference, really, I suppose, when you think about it. I don't think they'd been married that very long. Dawn was Scottish and her son is a famous actor who's been in Hollyoaks. And, they've been giving sort of her son, and then also Mr. Searle had children, before they got together. They've been sort of paying tribute to this couple. Now, there was a lot of speculation in the first instance that maybe this had been a robbery gone wrong. Another sort of speculation that was happening when it first happened was it may have been some sort of a hit because Mr. Searle, Andrew, he, I just realised I've spelled his name wrong. I've put Andrew, I must change that. He had, the job he'd done when he was retired, but the job he had done involved sort of dealing with financial dealings for crime, organised crime people. I don't mean he was helping them. I mean, he was exposing them. So, of course, people thought maybe, is this a result of the job that he did? Is it somebody got it in for him? Personally, I didn't think for a minute it was a hit from the beginning. The only reason why is I thought that if it would have been a hit, there would have been weapons involved. They did say right from the beginning there were no weapons involved in these murders or in these deaths. So really, are organised crime really going to go in there and, if it was an organised hitman or woman, are they really going to go in there and do it without weapons? So to me, that was a bit probably unlikely. And then it came out that Mr. Searle, although he did this dangerous job, if you like, or this job that could expose dangerous people, he was anonymous in it. So, but of course, he maybe spoke about it to people, etc. You never know, do you? Now, I have to say the investigation's not over yet, so it could still be that. It just seems funny, that if it was an organised hit, wouldn't it have been more efficient, basically? Anyway, let me just say to it, hello. Thank you so much for watching, to all of you. I say hi to my lurkers, hi to those of you who are watching on replay crew, and to those of you who are here in chat at the moment. Hi Lorna, hi BF, and hi Mello. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all looking after yourselves. Coming up to Valentine's Day, if you haven't got anybody to love, love yourself. In fact, that's the most important thing to do, isn't it? So, God, it seems even worse coming up to Valentine's Day. But anyway, so the causes of death have been revealed. And to me, after the causes of death, but again, there's an inquiry to go. It does feel like this is very tragically going to be a domestic situation. It seems like Lorna sorry, not Lorna, because I was looking at Lorna in the chat there. Seemed like Dawn was killed by blunt force trauma. She had very bad head injuries, and she strangely was in the garden outside the house and undressed, no clothes on, and surrounded by jewellery. Now, what that was about, who knows? Maybe it was a robbery gone wrong. But the problem with that is now they have released information that Andrew, he had HANGD'd himself. Hope you can spell. I'm always a bit reluctant to say these things on YouTube. Also, just for a personal experience I had with my ex-partner who did that to himself, it's like quite distressing. So yeah, it's that's now. Originally there were reports that Andrew was gagged, but that apparently is not true. But it is true that he was HUNG on a radiator, apparently. So is this a domestic incident? It seems like he had some financial problems. Anyway, that's what's being said now. So let's have a look at the article. So it's very sad, isn't it? Thing is, we're in that rural property, quite isolated, just the two of them. I suppose any problems that you might have are magnified if you live so remotely, possibly, you know. But of course, we don't know for certain that that's what happened. But if he was, unless, you know, whoever did it, if it was somebody else who killed Dawn and Andrew, maybe to make it look like a murder-suicide, you know. So anyway, let me read you the article, make it, see what if we can make a bit of sense of it. But it's very sad. It's so sad. This is going to be so awful for both their families, isn't it? Because their families are, you know, their families are all one family now because they've married. So, you know, they'll have all met each other at the wedding, etc. And now these revelations will make things very difficult, won't they? So police reveal the cause of death of the British couple found dead at their French home and details of their final minutes. French prosecutors. Now, I know there was CCTV or, you know, what do they call it, door cam footage. I don't know if there was cameras in their home. You know, maybe that the police have some video footage. Anyway, they have revealed how a British couple died in violent circumstances at their home in rural France. Andrew and Dawn Searle, 65 and 46, were found by a neighbour at their property in the hamlet of Les Pesquiès, south of Villefrance. I don't know how to pronounce that. Villefrance. I'm trying to pronounce it in Spanish, but of course in French you don't pronounce all the syllables, but of course in Spanish we do. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Villefrance-de-Rouergue, I hate butchering names like that, on Thursday. So this happened last Thursday. Pathologists working with judges in Montpellier carried out post-mortem examinations yesterday, confirming that Monsieur Searle had a severe wound to the skull caused by several blows by a sharp instrument that has not been found. Now, that's strange, isn't it? Why is it not just there? Why is whatever was used to kill Dawn, why is it not just still there? That makes things a bit mysterious, doesn't it? Because if it is a domestic incident, there's no reason why, you know, if Andrew did that to Dawn and then went and took his own life, where is the murder weapon? You know, why he wouldn't hide it, would he? I mean, if he was then going on to take his own life, he'd have absolutely no reason to hide it. So I'm not sure why that hasn't been found. Yeah. Anyway, so Nicholas Rigot-Muller, the Rodez public prosecutor, sorry, excuse me, said jewellery and cash was found scattered around her partially clothed body outside the house. I hear they're saying it was partially clothed. In another article I read, it said that it wasn't. I mean, not that it matters, really, I suppose. The thing is, if she was undressed, she's likely to be comfortable, do you know what I mean, with whatever the situation was in the house. But because, you know, well, it's not the time of year to walk around with nothing on. I bet it's freezing there at the moment. In the summer when it's hot, maybe that's something you would do. Or maybe she'd just come out of the shower. You know, I think it was in the evening time that they were found anyway. Then for his part, the body of Andrew Searle was found hanged without any trace of defensive wounds, said Mr. Rigot-Muller. A day after the couple were found, the mayor of Villefrance-de-Rouergue, Jean-Sébastien Orsibal, told French television the deaths were clearly a homicide. Well, what, you know, make your mind up. Were they both homicides then? Anyway, investigators have remained tight-lipped about a possible murder suspect, with the regional prosecutor refusing to say whether police are looking for anyone in connection with the deaths. Maybe it's just too soon to say that. They must know, surely, by now, if there was anybody else involved. Because surely they must know if there was somebody else involved. You know, anyway, maybe it's just too early. It's been nearly a week. Surely they've had they've had a chance to look at some of the video footage around. Anyway, you know what it's like, these things, more things will come out. Hi, Angel. So yeah, mystery, maybe just too early to be anything but a mystery, I suppose, possibly. CCTV footage is providing vital clues to solving the mystery, with detectives confident that any potential killer will have been picked up at some point by one of the scores of police, traffic and private cameras in the area. Yeah, because that was interesting. That was something that was saying, that although it is a very, very rural area, there are lots of security cameras, traffic cameras, police cameras, private cameras. And anyway, Mr. Searle, originally from England, was seen in surveillance footage in a tobacconist in Villefrance-de-Rouergue just hours before he died. And we watched that in the video yesterday, buying lottery tickets and chocolate. So if it has resulted, if it isn't the result of a domestic incident, I don't think it will have been planned, will it? Because why would he have been buying lottery tickets if he was intending on killing Dawn and killing himself? Anyway, it's emerged. Oh gosh, it's just so sad, really. It's emerged that he'd experienced financial problems and had to liquidate his holiday letting business. Let's have a look at the gallery. You know, when we're looking at that photo, I mean, of course, all photos, people always look so happy, don't they? You know, that frozen snapshot in time, you know, they were happy, were they, or at that moment when that photo was taken? But of course, you just never know what's going on, do you, in people's minds? You really do not know. Let's watch the video.
5 days after the bodies of British expats Andrew Searle and his wife Dawn Searle were found out in the home that they live here in this part of rural France at Les Pesquiès, prosecutors have made their first public statement with regard to that investigation. They've confirmed that Mr. Searle was found hanging from a radiator, tellingly no gag in his mouth, as the French media had reported. And they also say that Mrs. Searle was found outside and she had died from severe blows from a blunt object to the back of her head.
So he says, he was found hanging from a radiator. You always think, oh, how could anyone, manage that? But of course, you'd be surprised that, when somebody's determined enough what they can do. And so no gag, because it had been reported, just shows you how rumours go out. You shouldn't really take any notice of anything except official things. Apparently, according to what they're saying, it's not true that he was wearing a gag.
A jewellery box was scattered around her with items of jewellery from that box, but tellingly no murder weapon was found close to her body. Inside, as I say, Mr. Searle was found by firefighters, called to the house. His body was discovered towards the back. They also say that there were no defensive wounds on his body, and the police and prosecutors are saying that they are not actively looking for anyone at this stage, but all theories do remain open. They say that it is either a murder-suicide following the result of a domestic incident, or perhaps the intervention of a third party. But I think tellingly, the fact that there is no mention of a suspect, no description of anyone they are looking for, I think maybe we can read something into that. And also the fact that at the scene there is very little police presence. And in fact, the French media this morning...
Yeah, I think that's true what you're saying there. If they're not releasing any information about a suspect at all, sounds like there isn't a suspect. And also, as he goes on to say now, there is not much activity at the scene.
Morning have been reporting that it doesn't have the air of a manhunt, as there is no visible investigative activity taking place in the area around the village.
We'll watch
5
this
days
one more time.
after the bodies of British expats Andrew Searle and his wife Dawn Searle were found out in the home that they live here in this part of rural France at Les Pesquiès, prosecutors have made their first public statement with regard to that investigation. They've confirmed that Mr. Searle was found hanging from a radiator, tellingly no gag in his mouth, as the French media had reported. And they also say that Mrs. Searle was found outside and she had died from severe blows from a blunt object to the back of her head. A jewellery box was scattered around her with items of jewellery from that box, but tellingly no murder weapon was found close to her body. Inside, as I say, Mr. Searle was found by firefighters, called to the house. His body was discovered towards the back. They also say that there were no defensive wounds on his body, and the police and prosecutors are saying that they are not actively looking for anyone at this stage, but all theories do remain open. They say that it is either a murder-suicide following the result of a domestic incident, or perhaps the intervention of a third party. But I think tellingly, the fact that there is no mention of a suspect, no description of anyone they are looking for, I think maybe we can read something into that. And also the fact that at the scene there is very little police presence. And in fact, the French media this morning have been reporting that it doesn't have the air of a manhunt, as there is no visible investigative activity taking place in the area around the village.
Attending college in...
Oh, I don't know why I'm getting Elliot Rodger on there. Yeah. In fact, I don't want to see about Elliot Rodger. Yeah, so a few mysteries there, isn't there, really? So first of all, where's the murder weapon? If he murdered Dawn, if Andrew murdered Dawn and then took his own life, where is the murder weapon? Unless he just threw it. Or maybe there's somewhere there that he's threw it into. Would he even think about that? To me, you just think, well, if you kill your partner and then you're set on, deleting yourself, the last thing you'd even care about is the murder weapon. Is it so, or is it just, I don't know, maybe, because I wonder, because of course they had a dog, so where's the dog? I hope the dog's all right. Did the dog take it off somewhere? If it was like a stick or something, they think it's blunt force trauma type injuries, head injuries. Did the dog take it off somewhere? It's very, very mysterious, that. And then, of course, I know, I think Angel was in there saying, to hang yourself from a radiator. But do you know that a lot of people do that? Just fit, or from a door handle. Do you always think somebody would have to do it from, somewhere high up? Wouldn't you? But it doesn't have to be. I don't want to go into gory details, but I know 2 people who have done it like that. I know of. I did know them as well. It's more common than you think. From a low, it is possible to do it from a low. I think, anyway, I don't want to go into the gory details of it. But yeah, it's very possible. And here's that. We watched the video yesterday. Let's see if maybe the video will be on here. So yeah, less than 24 hours before he was found dead, Mr. Searle seemed happy and relaxed as he bought a chocolate bar and 2 lottery tickets before thanking the shopkeeper and going to his car outside where his wife was waiting. Now, I mean, arguments can flash up out of nowhere, can't they? I mean, couples, anyone, you literally, an argument, it doesn't have to brew, does it? Arguments literally can start over nothing, especially when someone's so stressed out that it seems like Andrew was, because they were saying that he appeared distressed on a phone call the day before, didn't he? So, arguments can start up very, very quickly, can't they? So although he might have looked relaxed buying his lottery tickets, literally, and then within a couple of hours, an argument might have broken out. You just don't know. We don't know, do we? And that's them. Oh, they've been married for 2 years. Yeah, not very long. Substantial age difference. He was 65, she was 56. Oh, didn't it say in that other thing that 46? She was 46. So, no, it's not as substantial an age difference as, I'm sure they said she was 46 earlier, or maybe I misread it. So yeah, bit of an age difference, but you know what? It doesn't look like any age difference. Oh, here's the CCTV again. Let's see it. So he's chatting away. Yeah, he looks relaxed, but again, you never know. I mean, it's always possible that somebody might have tried to make it look like a murder-suicide, isn't there? And as you say, Maria, yeah, his job did point to possible we had, but then in another article I was reading, it was saying that he would have been anonymous in his job. He wouldn't have been known. His name wouldn't have been known, but then you don't know who he'd spoken to or who'd investigated him, or maybe someone did have a grudge against him and tried to make it look. I think we can definitely dispel robbery if she was found with money and jewellery around her. I think you can think, well, it definitely wasn't a robber, because the jewellery and the money, they would have definitely picked that up and ran when they ran. Maybe she was, I don't know, if they had an argument about money, maybe she was taking the money and the jewellery, but she was only partially dressed, so it doesn't seem she was leaving, unless... doesn't seem she was leaving unless she was... What's this? Oh, this is another couple. Oh, there's so many British people get found deceased in foreign countries, my God. Yeah, so another possibility, I suppose, is had she told him she was leaving him. You know, everyone's saying what a lovely couple they were and how they got on well together, but of course you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Maybe she had told him she was going to leave. Maybe an argument broke out. She grabbed the jewellery and the money, but you know, again, none of it makes sense, really, does it? And I think the most thing that doesn't make sense is, where is the murder weapon? Where is the murder weapon? Because if he's killed his wife and then deleted himself, he's not going to be hiding the murder weapon, is he? I would say. So this must be they've got the tape up, etc. Let's have a look at these pictures. So yeah, Dawn, the woman, the wife, she is the mother of former Hollyoaks star Callum Kerr. So here's the house where they were found dead. It looks, I mean, of course it's winter, but in the summer it'd be, when all the leaves come on the trees and everything, it'd be absolutely beautiful. So the couple moved to the south of France from Scotland around a decade ago. And pictured is the house where Mr. and Mrs. Searle were discovered in Les Pesquiès. So they'd taken that 10 years, had been doing it up slowly, apparently. You know, it's a lot of people's dream. Just seems so very sad to me that, you know, all these cases are sad, of course, just the nature of a true crime channel. They're going to be sad cases. But it's very sad, isn't it, to work all your life and, you know, retire and, you know, have your dream life. I mean, look at the views there, the views of the mountain and that. I mean, it's lovely, or the hill, whatever you call it. And then for this to happen, it just seems, you know, so very sad. Police are investigating, but not too hard, apparently. So apparently the police don't look as if they're, you know, on a manhunt or anything. And this is Callum, of course, with his mum, Dawn. I don't know if this is the dog. So they definitely still had a dog, because the reason the neighbour went round to the house was because he was worried, because he had not seen Andrew walking the dog as normal. So they haven't even mentioned the dog, which is a bit annoying, because I'd like to know that the dog was okay. There's Callum again. And there's that lovely picture of them where they look so happy. We watched the video, didn't we? Yeah, we've watched those. So, yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? You know, anyway, that's the Daily Mail, what they've got to say. Let's have a look at another article. Yeah, let's look at it from a different perspective, but I don't know if any of the other news sort of any of the other mainstream media will have anything different to offer. Right, okay, let's have a look. Let's see what the BBC's got to say. Oh no, that's not the one that's talking about. Let's see what Sky News has got to say. So the investigation continues into whether a third party was involved or whether the deaths were the result of a murder-suicide. So they've released these details from a post-mortem examination, and they say that Dawn Searle, 56, was found at their property with several injuries to her head, while her husband was found hanged with no visible defensive injuries. So that seems simple enough, doesn't it, in a sense? If she's been found attacked, and he's been found, looks, so on the surface of it, you think, oh, it is a murder self-deletion. But of course, then where is the murder weapon? And also, well, where is the dog? I want to know where the dog is. But where is the murder weapon? And, why did she have all those... why was she surrounded by jewellery and money? Has someone tried to make it look like that? So the pair are said to have been found by a German friend who lives nearby on Thursday after Mr. Searle did not arrive for one of their regular dog walks. So, said that Mrs. Searle was found partially dressed with a major wound to her skull next to a box with jewellery inside. Now, the thing is, if she had major injuries to her skull, that's going to be quite a big murder weapon, isn't it? But no object or weapon was found that could have caused the wounds, which an autopsy carried out in Montpellier on Monday found were caused by a blunt and sharp object. There were no signs of sex assault. The house appeared to have been quickly searched, while some cash was found in the couple's room. Oh my God, it's just getting more mysterious. Who searched it? And why didn't they take the cash? Why didn't, if this is a robbery, why didn't they take the cash? Is this someone trying to set the husband up to make it look like he did it? But he had no defensive wounds. So, everything you sort of think about, he had no defensive wounds, so they don't think he was attacked. Why would he search the house? Maybe that happened, to be fair, maybe that happened before the incident. Maybe they were arguing and maybe he was looking around for money, or she was. Maybe the searching of the house happened before the incident itself. Just why she would be surrounded by jewellery and cash, I don't know, unless I just don't know. I mean, it's a very mysterious case, even though they've now released the cause of death. And on the surface, you'd sort of think, oh, well, he's got money troubles, murder, self-deletion. It's very common, isn't it? It's not unusual for that kind of thing to happen. But then, where's the murder weapon? Where is the murder weapon? And has someone just tried to make it look like that? But then where's his defensive wounds? Oh, yeah. So where am I? Investigators are conducting further examinations, including toxicology and pathology tests, to help determine the precise circumstances of their deaths. You know, so it was in the, I think it was round about 8 o'clock in the evening when they were found. You know, maybe they'd been drinking, maybe they'd had an argument. Gosh, it's the murder weapon that makes it suspicious, isn't it? If they can't, you know, if somebody's about to, you know, if somebody's just killed their wife and then they delete themselves, why would they hide the murder weapon? I mean, it's possible, of course. We don't know what the gap in time was, do we? From when Dawn was killed to when if he did it himself, when he deleted himself. Maybe there was quite a gap in time and he did dispose of the murder weapon. Maybe he was going to make it look like a robbery and then he just thought in the end, oh no, I can't make it look like that, I'm going to go with her. You know, that's a possibility, isn't it? Maybe initially when he realised what he'd done, if he'd done it, maybe he thought, oh, I'll make it look like a robbery or an intruder. And maybe he went off to dispose of the murder weapon. And then maybe he just decided, oh no, you know, I'm going to do it to myself. Or maybe somebody did it to him, but then in which case, where's his defensive wounds? Oof, yeah. It's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. Hi, Annie. It's one of those difficult ones. No, I don't think I'm sharing Sky News, am I? No. Right, let me just switch to Sky News. It's just same thing, really. I mean, it's a beautiful property, isn't it? I mean, look at it. So, you know, you're going in there. I mean, it's very, I wouldn't like to live there, I've got to say, because I'd be terrified, to be honest. It's beautiful. But imagine at night, so remote. You know, you would be scared. And I don't know, I mean, this is France, obviously, and I live in Spain, but I think I might have been saying in the previous video I did about this, these sort of properties, they are a target for thieves. They are a target for thieves. You know, any thief, you know, and they're normally organised gangs, that property would say to them straight away, there's jewellery in there and money. But of course it wasn't taken. That's the strange thing. There was jewellery, there was money, but it wasn't taken. Ay. Very strange. Anyway, so they each have 2 children from previous relationships, and Miss Searle's son, the country musician and former Hollyoaks star Callum Kerr, said they were in mourning in a statement posted on Saturday. Family members are understood to have travelled to France, where they have spoken with investigators. So, the mayor, who was also a neighbour of the Searles, said the villagers and the British expat community were going to be getting psychological help during following the incident, which has left locals in shock. Well, you can imagine, can't you? And, you know, they'll be worried until it is proven, you know, who did it. Because if that's a gang, if it is a gang that's done it, you know, they'll all be feeling very vulnerable. Speaking to Sky News from the town hall, in which he conducted the couple's wedding ceremony, he said it doesn't seem like the problem comes from here, because when we knew them and saw them living here, they were very happy, very friendly, and didn't seem to have any problems. Well, unfortunately, that's what's often said, isn't it, in cases of self-deletion as well. People say, oh, they didn't realise anything was wrong. The problem seems to come from the past or somewhere far away. It's an isolated act. It's very independent. It doesn't say that it's a very dangerous territory. In fact, it's very peaceful. And that's why probably Andy and Dawn chose to live here, because it's very peaceful. Now, did their past come back and get them? That's another story. That's totally different from where we are. It could have happened anywhere. And so a Foreign Office spokesperson previously said, we are supporting the family of a British couple who died in France and are liaising with the local authorities. Oh, bless their souls. I just think you literally never know what's going through people's heads, do you? Yeah, maybe Angel get his DNA, but if they haven't got the murder weapon, where is that murder weapon? Has somebody taken it away with them? It's a real mystery that about the weapon, because I can't see why, if that is a murder, self-deletion, I can't see what you would have done with the murder weapon, why you would have taken it anywhere or hidden it. And if it's been staged maybe to look like that, why has he hasn't got any defensive wounds. Now, they may be able to find DNA on Dawn, because we don't know. Now, she apparently, these injuries to her head were at the back of her head. Seems to me somebody was following her out of the house, and killed her as she ran out of the house trying to get help. Well, I'm not saying necessarily it was him, but somebody, because she was hit in the back of the head. So seems like she was on her way out of the house. Maybe she had the jewellery and the money. Maybe she was holding it. Why was that not taken? If that was a robbery, why was the jewellery and the money not taken? And there was other cash in the house not taken. So it's a very, very strange situation, isn't it? And very sad, very, very sad, especially for the families, because how are they going to broach that now? If, broach the subject that it's a possible murder, self-deletion even. Anyway, I'm going to light a candle, one for each of them. Sometimes you just think, I say you don't. So tonight, earlier, I took my dogs to the beach. I went to the happy place. I just felt like, I got there. It was just going dark when I got there, and I walked along like the esplanade. And I was thinking, about all the people, because there's quite a few people walking their dogs or just walking. There's a candle, one for Dawn, one for Andrew. And I was thinking as I was watching these people, they don't know anything about me, about what's going on in my life, in my mind, and I didn't know anything about them. You sort of walk past people and everybody's, in their little cocoon, aren't they? Everybody's just plodding on with their lives, but you don't know what's under the surface, do you, for people? It's very sad. Very sad. There he was buying his lottery ticket one minute, and then now they're both dead. But yeah, it's a mystery. Yeah, it could be staged, couldn't it, Lorna? Could be staged. The fact that weapon's not there is a real mystery. But you know what? If they staged it, God, this is like Columbo, because you just think, God, if they staged it, I was thinking what I would do if I was going to stage, not that I would, but you try and put yourself in that position. You would leave the murder weapon there, and you would, get his fingerprints on it. If he's if you've murdered him as well, I don't think it'd be that difficult to put the weapon in his hand and get his DNA on the weapon, and then just leave it at the side of Dawn's body. Even if it was staged, why would you take the murder weapon with you? Seems odd, doesn't it? Surely you would leave it there. Take the money and the jewellery with you. I suppose if you're trying to make it look like it's murder self-deletion, you wouldn't take the money and that. But you would leave the murder weapon. You'd make sure that Andrew's DNA got on it. At the end of the day, you've incapacitated him. He's deceased. So you can easily, hi, Di. You can easily, you could easily get his DNA on it, on the murder weapon, because he's been murdered. He's not capable. You could easily put his DNA on the murder weapon, on the handle of whatever it is. And then just leave it there, couldn't you? So why? I don't understand that. But yes, David, apparently the area is rife with CCTV, and I'm sure they're going through all that. The properties locally have all got a lot of CCTV, and maybe they even had CCTV themselves in their house, maybe. I think if I lived in a place like that, as beautiful as it is, beautiful as that place is, and it is beautiful, I wouldn't want to live there because it's too isolated for me. I'd be terrified. I'd have to have, lots of CCTV, lots of dogs, great big dogs, and I still want to know what happened to the dog. In fact, I'm just going to Google that because where is the dog? Yeah, nobody's mentioning the dog. Let's see if I can find anything. Right, let's have a look at this update in the Scottish Sun. We haven't looked at this yet. Because, of course, Dawn was Scottish.
Property in Les Pesquiès.
Yeah, Dawn, Mrs. Searle, she is Scottish.
Post-mortem revelations by police investigating the deaths of a Scottish couple at their home in rural France will leave many stunned. 56-year-old Dawn Searle was found at their property in Les Pesquiès with several injuries to her head, while her 62-year-old husband, Andrew Searle, was found hanged with no visible defensive injuries. Detectives are investigating whether the deaths are the result of a murder-suicide or if a third party was involved. The pair are said to have been found dead by a German friend who lives nearby on Thursday after Mr. Searle didn't arrive for one of their regular dog walks. This is understood to be the last footage of Andrew buying a bar of chocolates and €2 lottery tickets from a tobacconist on Wednesday, shortly before 6 p.m. It comes as a neighbour reported seeing Andrew, a former financial investigator who worked against organised crime, appeared distressed while on a dog walk the day before he died. Local Mayor Jean-Sébastien Orthibal says the couple really tried to embrace the community.
They were people who really wanted to participate, so they invited everyone in the neighbourhood, over 100 people, to their home once a year so they could get to know each other.
The couple each have 2 children from previous relationships, and Miss Searle's son, the country musician and former Hollyoaks star Callum Kerr, said they were in mourning in a statement posted on Saturday. Family members are understood to have travelled to France, where they have spoken with investigators. Police originally came up with several shocking theories about the couple's deaths before the post-mortems. They initially believed the couple, who moved from Scotland a decade ago, were killed during a burglary gone wrong at the remote home. New information then suggested they may have been targeted by hitmen, with Andrew being a former organised crime investigator. Police revealed that Dawn had suffered a head wound and was found near the front door, surrounded by scattered jewellery. Detectives said that no weapons were found at the scene and no bullet or knife wounds were found in an initial examination of the bodies. But the shocking result of the post-mortem investigations carried out by French authorities yesterday now means that detectives are investigating whether this is the result of a murder-suicide or whether a third party is involved. Today's post-mortem revelations by police investigating the deaths of a Scottish couple at their home in rural France will leave many stunned. 56-year-old Dawn Searle was found at their property in Les Pesquiès with several injuries to her head, while her 62-year-old husband, Andrew Searle, was found hanged with no visible defensive injuries. Detectives are investigating whether the deaths are the result of a murder-suicide or if a third party was involved. The pair are said to have been found dead by a German friend who lives nearby on Thursday after Mr. Searle didn't arrive for one of their regular dog walks. This is understood to be the last footage of Andrew buying a bar of chocolates and €2 lottery tickets from a tobacconist on Wednesday, shortly before 6 p.m. It comes as a neighbour reported seeing Andrew, a former financial investigator who worked against organised crime, appeared distressed while on a dog walk the day before he died. Local Mayor Jean-Sébastien Orthibal says the couple really tried to embrace the community.
They were people who really wanted to participate, so they invited everyone in the neighbourhood, over 100 people, to their home once a year so they could get to know each other.
The couple each have 2 children from previous relationships, and Miss Searle's son, the country musician and former Hollyoaks star Callum Kerr, said they were in mourning in a statement posted on Saturday. Family members are understood to have travelled to France, where they have spoken with investigators. Police originally came up with several shocking theories about the couple's deaths before the post-mortems. They initially believed the couple, who moved from Scotland a decade ago, were killed during a burglary gone wrong at the remote home. New information then suggested they may have been targeted by hitmen, with Andrew being a former organised crime investigator. Police revealed that Dawn had suffered a head wound and was found near the front door, surrounded by scattered jewellery. Detectives said that no weapons were found at the scene and no bullet or knife wounds were found in an initial examination of the bodies. But the shocking result of the post-mortem investigations carried out by French authorities yesterday now means that detectives are investigating whether this is the result of a murder-suicide or whether a third party is involved. Today's post-mortem revelations by police investigating the deaths of a Scottish couple at their home in rural France will leave many stunned.
Yeah. So it's awful, isn't it? Awful. Yeah, I did. I didn't realise it was you, Rio. I didn't know you had. Because I was thinking, oh, that's a funny. But when you came in, I was saying hello, Di. I was thinking, oh, that's a funny name, YouTube name. Yes, I hadn't realised either. Yeah, when people come in on the Spanish channel, they can't see what people are saying on this chat, which is a shame, isn't it? But anyway. Okay, sorry, I'm reading the chat there, so I was getting distracted. So yeah, I'm afraid it's obviously it's sad news, but Also quite mysterious, isn't it? This thing about the murder weapon, anyway, very mysterious. So I'll keep an eye out for it. I'll just see if there's any other news that somebody was saying earlier that the police had said his phone was proving useful. Let's have a look. Ay, very sad. Yeah, I can't, nothing's coming up. More is coming up for me here, but let's see, 6 hours ago, 4 days ago. Oh, this might be interesting. Let's have a look. This is ITV news, just for us to see different ways it's being presented. Hygiene. Let's have a look at this. Oh, it's not coming on. So it's paused. Why is it paused? Not coming on. I don't want to subscribe, thank you. I just want to play it. I don't mind an advert. No, that's not coming up. Let's have a look at the Independent. I can't see anything on here, but let's see. Yeah, I can't find that, but okay, I think that's all I've got for you today about this case, but I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Oh, title was key mobile phone clues. I don't know why it's not coming up for me. I think it's telling me I have to register. I'll just put that in, try one more time. Unless you can put a link in. I don't know if you can put a link in, Angel. In the chat. Oh, here. No, I think I found it. Yeah, found it, I think. It says, yeah, just says that, doesn't it? Mobile phones belonging to a British couple found dead in France are providing vital clues about their death, French detectives said. Oh, that article was before. Let me just show it you. That was actually before they released the results of the post-mortem. Yeah, because this was actually Friday when they said that. So, yeah, Mr. Searle was found hanged on Thursday near the body of his 56-year-old wife. Reports suggest that investigators are looking into whether gangsters with a score to settle were involved. Pathologists are due to carry out a post-mortem on Monday. That's what's just been carried out to establish the definitive causes of death, and police are yet to make any arrests. Oh, looks like they've got, the perfect life, doesn't it? That lovely house and, living in France, living the dream, as they say. Ah, here it is. So the phone of 62-year-old Andrew Searle, a former financial investigator who was involved in fighting organised crime, is proving particularly helpful. Now, I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility to think that organised crime people might try and set him up, but then, to me, I feel they would just leave the murder weapon there. I think the murder weapon, the weapon, whatever it was that was used to kill Dawn, not being there is a mystery. I think, real mystery. Because I think they would have left it there. I don't see what he would have done with it, and I don't see why, if somebody set him up, why they wouldn't just put his DNA on it and then leave it there. So, anyway, I expect we'll find out over the next couple of days or whatever. Anyway, I hope for the family's sake they get to find out as well, of course, to know what's happening. It just must be, it's just awful, isn't it? So for them. Okay, I'm going now. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for caring about this couple. It's a tragedy, whatever's happened. And I hope the police get to the bottom of it. Is it freezing cold there? In the UK, I think you're talking about. Well, I hate to tell you, but it's not freezing cold. I mean, it's not hot, but it's actually quite nice in the daytime. It's 11 degrees at the moment, but it's not cold like it was a couple of weeks ago. Okay, thanks for watching. As I say, please don't forget to leave your DNA, talking of DNA, leave your DNA on the like button. And if you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing. Also, press the notification bell, because that way you'll get updates on this case or any of the others that we're following. So, oh, bless. Oh, Lanzarote, yeah. Okay, thank you so much. It's good to see you all on here. Thank you so much. And as always, may your God go with you. Bye.